Bitcoin has just reached a key level of support, and this has the potential to be one of the best areas to buy Bitcoin at, and no one is really talking about it. So welcome back to another Bitcoin technical analysis. My name is Brendan, and it is great to have all of you here. If you are new here, we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So smack that like button, smack that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and dive on into this because I do see a lot of potential with where Bitcoin's at in this area, and certainly towards the upside. Now, I am still very much bullish on Bitcoin. In fact, we talked about how it broke out of this falling channel previously and how we're now not only above that, but still trending in the right direction upwards. So now we're seeing the exact flip side of what we saw before, where we saw this falling channel and actually the breakout out of it. But now we're seeing a rising channel from Bitcoin. So let me clear the chart right here and explain exactly what I'm seeing and what I think is going to happen next. So we see these first touch points of resistance starting in around September 8th, September 7th. We see a resistance hit not once, not twice, but actually 3 separate times, which is for the most part a good sign. And we're seeing the exact same thing of support forming a little bit later because of course we had to have the breakout. But after this formed, we saw support on top of the 50 and the 200-day moving average for the first touch point, second touch point, and third touch point following this. So now that we're at the bottom of support, I'm seeing this as one of the best risk versus reward buying opportunities for Bitcoin. Again, it's in an uptrend. The trend is your friend. It's at support. And not only does it have support here, but it also has some moving averages that it's sitting right on top of. And so far, we've had the candle body closings routinely over these moving averages. Of course, with the support the first time, the support the second time, and now we're kind of teetering around this area, but we haven't even had to touch the 200 EMA yet for Bitcoin, at least not on the 4-hour time scale. So as I zoom in here and kind of explain, I want to also draw up a risk versus reward chart so we can kind of see exactly what I'm looking at if I wanted to get myself into a long position here. So the first argument is just going to be from where we're at right now, saying, all right, I think that we're not going to hit a lower swing low, so I'm just going to put my stop loss right below the previous low. Potential to the upside is going to be towards the top of this channel because that's where we are routinely hitting. So I'd imagine that's going to be somewhere around $49,200. So the way that I would imagine this going is something like this: from support to resistance, from support to resistance, and then once again from support to resistance. This would place us just around $49,200. And my risk versus reward ratio would be a 4.65. I'd be roughly risking 0.75% or 0.75% at a potential reward of 3.62%. And none of this is with leverage. So if you leverage this, you obviously can multiply or subtract some numbers away here, but I do see this as a good risk versus reward area from Bitcoin. Now, if I want to get a little bit more lenient, maybe a little bit more liberal with my stop loss, I think that what I could do here is place it below the previous low, but also below this 200 EMA to be a little bit more liberal with it. I still have a risk versus reward ratio of 2.26%. I'm risking 1.5% this time for a potential reward of 3.5% roughly. So this was probably not one that I would like to leave this much of a stop loss. But if I am, which I am, looking to kind of set up some investments here rather than trades, I'm still going to be buying Bitcoin and maybe some altcoins at this level because I am very interested. I think that there is a lot of potential here. And one of the things that I'm liking is that this MACD is already starting to what appears to be rounding off at the bottom. And this RSI is reaching a pretty neutral territory after seeing some downside. Now, one thing I want to do here before we get any deeper is take a look at the volume as well, because the volume is squeezing, and I wouldn't even say it's squeezing, but the volume is falling off. Bitcoin is in an uptrend. We are already seeing some support on this daily candle, so we'll have to see what the next one opens up as, because it's going to open up here pretty soon, since it is Sunday the 19th. And you'll probably be seeing this on Monday the 20th. But volume definitely has been falling off. Not too crazy though. It has been a weekend, so with this volume falling off down here, it doesn't strike me, it doesn't make me too nervous. And again, for one of the big trends that I've been noticing here on Bitcoin is that on these weekends that we've been having, for the most part over the last month or two, Bitcoin has been seeing red on the weekends and then recovering greatly during the week. Now, this hasn't happened every single weekend without fail, but I have been noticing it a lot more recently that we're seeing these red bloody weekends followed up by a lot of recovery during the weekdays. So I am going to be buying the dip here on Bitcoin. I like my price point of 47,500. That could change. But for the most part, the 100 EMA, the 100 EMA on this daily chart and the 50 EMA on the daily chart are both still holding. And again, we haven't even touched the 200 EMA since we had this golden cross and reversal happen. So I think that that's a good thing as well. Still lots of support on Bitcoin. We have exactly what we just mentioned over in here towards the bottom side of 47,000, still holding as great support. On top of that, we have our 50 EMA at around 45,700, more support around 44,800, 44,900, and then we have our 100 EMA and our 200 EMA. So lots of support here on Bitcoin that are making me comfortable to buy. I still see Bitcoin as a discount because it's down. If we want to measure this, Bitcoin is still down roughly 27% from its all-time high. So if we want to measure this out and say, all right, well, if Bitcoin's going to go back to its all-time high, we have the potential to make around 37%, which I think that it's only a matter of time until Bitcoin breaks its all-time high of 65,000. Again, I think it's going to happen. We are seeing so many major economies that are just hurting, and Bitcoin is seen as a solution or as a store of value and hedging against what is happening all around the world. So don't want to get too into, I guess, a couple topics. Keep this as a technical analysis. Long story short here, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. The technicals still look great. Nothing crazy has broken yet. Yes, we have seen a price pullback in the price action of Bitcoin, but again, things are going to move up and down, right? You know, you're going to see things move up and down. You're going to see things move around here. But at the end of the day, that's just natural. It's going to be a somewhat volatile market because it is cryptocurrency. There's still a lot of regulation that's happening, both in the United States and in countries just around the world. So when we see these price pullbacks happen, what I've been doing and trying to do here is finding these long opportunities, looking at this with a measuring tool and saying, all right, well, Bitcoin's down, roughly 3-4% here. This might be my chance to kind of buy the dip. And number one, I'm not buying at the local high and I'm not buying at the all-time high. So that's why I like buying at these opportunities, buying at these discounted prices, mitigate my risk just a little bit more, and try not to time the tops and the bottoms. Again, sometimes I do. If I see some sort of a warning sign, then I'll sell off. But for the most part, that's where I stand with crypto for the time being. We can go ahead and wrap this up. I don't think there is too much else to look at here. RSI is something I need to go over here on this daily chart. RSI is still sitting fairly neutral in both the 4-hour and the daily chart. Nothing too crazy happening here for the most part. We talked about this bearish divergence. I would like to see maybe Bitcoin pull back to a ultimate higher swing low, maybe something a little bit closer to like 37. We ultimately bottomed out here at 43, 42. So maybe potential for some more downside if you want to argue that end of the spectrum. This bearish divergence that we had on this daily RSI looks like it has played out entirely. Again, we could eat those words. We could have another leg down and it wouldn't be too out of the question. But again, from the candle chart itself, I don't see anything that is screaming bearish here. The trend is your friend. We still have the golden cross happening. Bitcoin's holding above all of the EMAs for the time being. And with volume dropping off, it's the weekend. So like you got to expect it. But that's going to wrap up the video. Hopefully you did all enjoy this. If you want to watch more content like this and you like looking at Bitcoin technical analysis, maybe even altcoin technical analysis, or just topics of what's happening in the world of cryptocurrency right now, and you want to stay up to date, this is going to be the best place to do it. Again, we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before the year is over. So if you enjoy this content and maybe even some of the altcoin topics, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, smack the like button, and drop me a comment in the comment section down below, and I will be sure to interact with you down there as well. Also, if you want to join the Discord, there is a link to that in the description down below, completely free, no strings attached. It's just kind of where we chat and hang out, and it's always a good way to get a hold of me. But that's going to be it. Again, appreciate all of you watching, and I will see you all in the next video.